Good Wednesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about cars and trucks and SUVs and the state of the times and silly things and whatever. Hey, it's Wednesday morning and it's cool up here. It's cold again. I'm a little too lightly in my Heroes Day, honoring the heroes of our country, which I think they're pretty special people, being that these people go out and do things that they don't know if they're coming home. I mean, they can do that in today's society, and they go out there to help others. Isn't that something? And isn't it something in our today's society? There's individuals that are critical of these heroes. Wow. The heroes that want to help others. So yeah, that's what's going on this morning, this Wednesday morning. Beautiful, sunny, crisp and clear. Come on, baby, let's go. Come on. Ginger, come on, let's go. Come on, baby, let's go. Come on. So, oh my goodness gracious. Got to get my coffee in me, get the day going, the one-man show. Yeah, do I need help? Yeah. Can't help the ice, man. Yeah, I've got my own challenges of life. But yeah, so the conversation morning is all about help. How about that idea? I think that's a pretty cool theme. F-150 Lightning truck that it needed a lot of help. I'm just a car nut. And not everybody has the passion and the love of their cars like I do, or I like to take care of them. And last night, I spent some time on this Lightning, polishing her all up, and posted that in some short videos. And some people think I'm nuts because I think they thought I was just polishing a truck with no wax or polish on it. And so, anyways, the truck looks really good, but out in the sun is going to really tell the real story if I did a good job or not. Because when you use a buffing pad, I used to detail cars, but that was 30 years ago. So yeah, all the technology, all the change of times, yeah, it's all changed. But anyways, yeah, do I need help on that? Do I need help on my? I don't think I do. I think I do a pretty good job considering. You know, once again, I'm not the professional per se detailer, but I make it all work. So, anyways, let's get up here in the office, get my coffee, get the dogs, get to work, and let's talk about help. And how could that radiate back in the automotive industry? I tell you, it radiates. Once again, I run my YouTube channel off the tip of my tongue, and I have nobody behind the scenes telling me what to say. Come on, pup, let's go. Come on, get up here. Nobody's here giving me content. You know, a lot of these YouTubers are pretty big. They've got a lot of people behind them helping them create content, and that's not my story. I'm just a one-man show, like my business right now. One-man show, which is just incredible. How many years I've operated that way, but it's concerning because if anything ever happened to me, it'd be very challenging for my company to survive. So, and you hear these stories all the time. I mean, in small business, most people have no idea of the challenges of small business. And I gotta get my phone put down here and get myself lined up here with the little tripod that my wife got for my birthday present. And so yeah, so small business, yeah, getting good help and struggling through the challenges of, yeah, it's just, you don't know until you do it. But that's what separates us. That's just how we are. It just separates those that want to be something and those that can't be something. I mean, yeah. I mean, could I be bigger and better than I am? Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, I look at Carlos, what's the guy's name? I can't think of the CEO's last name, but it was Stellantis. But yeah, I mean, these CEOs, these big companies, automotive companies. Yeah, so anyways, so I thought to myself, let's talk about help, and let's keep it on the car side. And I think to myself, I think more than ever in my lifetime, I hear the word help more than ever. I mean, anybody else out there, if you kind of step back, it's very interesting. I think I'm no professor, I'm no scholar, I didn't go to college per se. So, if anybody here is watching my channel, yeah, I'm not the guy, I'm not the rocket scientist. I'm just a guy that likes to think out loud about things and give ideas. And that's what I do. I just like to think out loud and give out ideas and hopefully others kind of sit back and say, yeah, I never really thought of it that way, but that's kind of interesting. And so, anyways, so I just said to myself this morning that help in the automotive industry. So let's start there. Think about the 2008, 9, really 2009, 2010 economic crash in this country. Even though in 2008 I saw the bigger picture, but other people didn't because my company went broke. My lawn and garden company, equipment company I started, that I worked on from 2005, 6, opened in 2007. And then by 2008, economy was all shifting and everything went down the toilet. In such different economic times, it's incredible how the no-doc loan. See, if we all know the saying cause and effect, and I think that more than ever, we're living in a society more than ever of the cause and effect that has help, the word help attached to it. Because if you look at the history of what created the economic doomsday in 2008, 9, 10, it was the no-doc loan. It was the fact that anybody could go out and buy a house, not proving how much money they made. It was just on good faith. And then states like Florida, Arizona, California, they had the non-recourse mortgage loans. I mean, listen to this. This is no lie. I know, give it back to the car thing, but this leads to the car fiasco. The state of Florida had, if you went and bought 10 homes in the state of Florida, and then you went broke, in the state of Florida, they can't chase you for the bad debts. So if you had, and this stuff went on. This is about the housing crisis in 2009, 10 is bigger than what probably this will be, because it's a whole different dynamic. You're not going to see the 2009, 10 financial crisis in this country because it's a different business model of cause and effect. So in Florida, I know for a fact in Florida, if you owned multiple homes and you were upside down on them when the economy crashed and you had to do a short sale or they repossessed it, the bank in that state of Florida couldn't chase you for the bad debts. Yeah, wow. They've rewritten that law. The housing industry and mortgage industry rewrote that law after that fiasco. But what a heyday for people down there flipping houses and doing things. It was a no-brainer. That's what drove a lot of people in that market. But anyways, the whole point is that created the automotive fiasco where Dodge and GM and Ford, from one of the other subscribers here on my channel, he reached out a while back in this conversation, and he clarified something, and I think that was really nice of him because Ford was a little different on how they handled the challenges. But GM and Ford, as you know, when George Bush was running out of his presidency days and Obama took over, I guess, in 2008? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so Obama took over 8, and he inherited what was so-called the George Bush problems. Yeah, everybody blames somebody else because they don't look like they don't need help. That other person needed help. You ever notice that? So, anyways, when Obama's administration took over, they had to start making decisions on who survived, who didn't. So as we all know, Dodge had to be given government money to stay in business. General Motors had to be given government money. So they had to be helped. So if GM and Dodge had to be helped, Ford apparently took loans from the government, but they handled it a different way, and they were selling assets that kept them out of a bankruptcy. So I think that Ford prevailed more than GM and Dodge only because they didn't have to file bankruptcy. So I know that some will be like, yeah, but they still had a government handout, right? But they weren't labeled like GM and Dodge was, that they couldn't manage their monies and they went out of business, and the government had to come in and tell them what they could do with their business. I mean, if you don't realize it or not, the Corvette was on the chopping block under Obama's administration. The GM had to beg and plead for, this is a factual. Back in 2010 or 11 or 12, the Corvette lost its momentum there during the whole bankruptcy thing. And so, General Motors had to beg and plead borderline with the Obama administration to allow them to continue to let the Corvette. The Hummer was totally kicked to the curb because it was looked at as a big gas guzzler, even though I owned them all, and even it's no different than a big Suburban. I mean, it's no different, same thing. But the perception was it was worse, so they got rid of that. So here, the automotive industry, so many years back, it needed help to get back in business. And then, if you know the Dodge story, the union had a lot of value in the stock of the of Dodge, Chrysler Automotive Group, and so the Obama administration gave Fiat Chrysler the opportunity to buy the Dodge, Ram, Jeep portfolio, which they did, and that's why it was called the Fiat, and I should say Chrysler, Fiat Chrysler Automotive Group, FCA. That was the name because the Italians, the Fiat people, bought up that conglomerate of cars, and I always thought at that time, I was like, oh man, really. And back then, I was like, oh gosh, how is this going to play out? And you know what? Pretty incredible what Fiat Chrysler Automotive brought to the market. I mean, look what they did. I mean, they really did bring an incredible brand back into the market. I mean, the Hellcats, the Rams, the Jeeps. So they did a great job. So in that aspect, the help from the government in the end definitely did help out the automotive industry, but they needed help, and that's what I'm saying this morning. We all need help. How much help do you need, and how is help handled? It seems to be a fine line there. How the help, benefits others, or help doesn't really benefit others. And so then you look at GM. They had their help, but they weren't bought out by a private another company. And the reason that Fiat bought Dodge is because the union had such a stake in Dodge that the government didn't want to pay them out their monies. So Fiat's deal was they would buy out a portion. They would buy like 70% the value of the company, and the numbers would be off a little bit. And then they would eventually buy out the union that had like 30% ownership of the company, something like that. And as everybody knows, the unions are usually pretty strong with these political parties of kind of getting things done. They want to, the unions are the guys that build all these cars and trucks, and they usually have a lot of say at the end of the day to kind of keep things working. So they had a lot of power there. So in that aspect, for the automotive industry, they needed a lot of help, and the government had to intervene to help them. And I think to myself, wow, here we are now with this Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 that Joe Biden has been bragging about, and ensuring to everybody how he got this Inflation Reduction Act passed to help humanity and business and everything else. And I just think to myself, wow, $100 billion, $100 billion, but it's like this Inflation Reduction Act. Where's the money coming from? Well, it's the taxpayers, us. We are subsidizing the Inflation Reduction Act. And I'm thinking, really, the inflation is really going down? We just witnessed Jeremy, however you want to say it, Powell, yesterday, laying into everybody that, hey, everybody, you have to stop spending money. Hey, Iceman, quit buying damn things, dude. Quit buying this stuff. I mean, sincerely, this yesterday, when he was testifying down there in the Hill, he was, he presented his overview of where things are going. In so many words, he's just basically telling people, it's like, you guys have to stop. You have to stop. And so, since you're not stopping, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to go to the maximus on this interest rates. And you're just going to be now in very challenging times, and you're not going to have a chance to continue to do what you did, because he's going to make it harder for you to have money, and it's going to be very expensive to have money, and it's going to be very expensive to borrow. And he's just hoping that this calms the inflation down. And so, but I think to myself, the Inflation Reduction Act, it's so contradictory, because what this is about is the whole green agenda movement. And so, yeah, it's Carlos Tevez, or I can't think of the guy's damn last name. Anyways, the Stellantis, he just had an interview in New York here like 2 weeks ago now, and he was just talking about how to build electric cars, it's a 40% higher cost to the manufacturing side to make electric vehicles. So, but this Inflation Reduction Act is wanting to give subsidies to all these big automotive groups and battery manufacturers a chance to come here and set up shop and be rewarded with tax incentives to help them offset their expenses to truly get this green agenda, the electric vehicle, to be a more affordable vehicle. And I just think, wow, here's a government that's handing out money to try to create a market that is going to appease to those that will then buy an electric car because it'll be cheaper than buying an ICE car. And I just think to myself, it's just incredible on how the help. I mean, is anybody really paying attention to how it just seems like the common word anymore in our society is help, that the automotive industry needs help by the governing bodies because of their new governing agendas? I mean, is anybody kind of stepping back and saying, but if it wasn't for these harsh governing agenda bodies of the world that are forcing these economic hardships on automotive manufacturers that don't adapt faster to the green agenda, would we have to be doing all these subsidies at the taxpayer's expense? And would we have to be forced into driving electric vehicles that it seems like a lot of the people still are very resistant to thinking that really is going to help, here's the word, help Mother Nature and help Mother Earth. When you see the mining process that is required, you see the carbon footprint that is required to manufacture these electric vehicles, it's still a huge amount of carbon. It's still a huge amount of environmental environmental challenge to Mother Nature Earth to bring these cars here. But in the other aspect, they're trying to present that you're helping Mother Nature, Mother Earth, because of your EV desires to offset the ice age. And it's just the cause and effect. I mean, once again, I was just saying earlier, it's just like the cause and effect. What the cause and effect, the back and the no-doc loans, everybody got themselves overextended in houses, everybody got themselves spending way too much for houses. And then the government, I mean, in so many ways, the sitting governing bodies are to blame for where the housing market is because they gave away free money to buy a house. Yeah, I mean, it's in so many ways. The no-doc loan has played out in some aspects to the free borrowing money that people were getting such incredibly low mortgage rates on homes. It borderline doubled their purchasing power. But yet now we're witnessing how the Fed feels for them to help tame down the inflation, they need to raise interest rates. But so many business-minded people and others are saying, whoa, you can't, what you're getting ready to do isn't going to help this country, it's going to make it worse. But at the same time, people just won't pull back and try to tame down this inflation where it's out of control, where everything is so expensive. But I'm getting a taste of the inflation being reduced by my electric vehicles, because the electric vehicles that I own now, they're not the hot item. You know, it's 1 year later, not even a year later. The Ford Lightning truck didn't even start hitting the market till last summer, but late spring, early summer. And that truck already is seeing a huge adjustment in the value of trucks. So yesterday, that black truck, actually I did my research yesterday, and for me, I'm drinking my coffee. Yeah, I drink my coffee, but then it irritates my GERD. Yeah, cause and effect, right? Am I helping myself? Not really. But I need my coffee, get my caffeine, and get me going. So, yeah, so my black Lightning truck, I paid $80M on it. Here's the thing. On my channel, I'm not here to cry about my circumstances. That's not what I'm doing. Maybe watch, that guy's just crying and bitching about him buying electric vehicles, and he lost his ass. You buy cars like I do, you lose your ass all the time. I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, sincerely, you buy a new car, you take a 10, 15 grand hit instantly. I mean, that's just the market. So, but here's the thing. I paid huge money. Even for me, I'm surprised I paid as much as I paid for that black truck last year. But I bought it because I had a guy that was loyal to me for over 10 years. And I just thought, and his truck crapped out. So there's a lot of things that people don't understand about me. There are vehicles here that other people drive. They're not my cars. there are vehicles here that actually have some other people's names on these vehicles. I mean, so there's a lot of things that you guys just don't know. But I mean, it gets way too personal on what goes on in my own personal life to make things work. But the perception is that every one of these cars is mine and everything else. So, yeah, for the most part, but not all. So the point is, I had a gentleman work for me for 10 years, and he had an FJ Cruiser he bought from me. And that vehicle, he drove it to 330,000 miles. Well, he dumped tons and tons and tons of money in that truck. He put, just so much money in the truck, and the thing just wasn't running right. And so I crossed the bridge and I let him drive my Ford Mustang Mach-E, which is a great vehicle for him to work out of. But he's always wanted a truck. So I kind of came to closure that I was in a part with the Mustang Mach-E, Grabber Blue I had last year, and I would get him a truck. And so I bought that Ford Lightning truck for him, just really more of a company expense, and for him to be able to enjoy it. And that's why I justified paying $80,000 for that truck. And sincerely, I really wouldn't have, I could have told you back when I did this that the gentleman that's worked for me over 10 years, that he would raise his hand and walk away. I'd have been like, no, I don't see that happening, because his compensation, he got a nice raise and got him a truck. And so his compensation was really very healthy. And so I just really wow, I'm still even stumped that he walked off the job. And there's no hate here. I mean, anybody watch my channel, this is not a thing of me. He's a great friend. He's been very loyal to me. So this is not a conversation me wanting to belittle him. That's not what it's about. It's what it's about is, so I paid a lot of money for that black truck just to help somebody else out. But now the truck retailed for $80,000 X amount of dollars, but you factor the Coons Ford will put this processing fee, you factor the taxes, and you factor this and that. You're thinking about like you're at $85,000. Well, right now that truck trade value is $65,000. And in the market, is it worth $70,000, $75,000? Yeah, it may be, but it's got 15,000 miles. So it's kind of a high mileage. So I kind of did my research, and there's a lot of very low mileage, $77,000 Lightning trucks out there right now. Now they optioned out with extended range. I don't know. There's a lot of variables there. And it's not a big deal. I'm not here getting ready to get rid of that truck. But at the same time, it just goes back to, help. Well, a lot of people bought these electric vehicles because of them knowing they could get help on tax incentives. Yes, that's been driving once again, it's the government helping the people get into a different form of transportation, and by creating help, by giving them, monies, tax incentives, there's a lot of people that apparently last year went out and bought these electric vehicles, but yet now it just seems like the lights have turned off. Yeah, the lights have turned off, it seems like, for the most part, on these electric vehicles for the Ford brand. Yeah, and I just think, what is going on? What is that all about? But at the same time, are people worried that the Inflation Reduction Act isn't going to give them their full tax write-off of $7,500 or whatever it may be? Is that really the driving force? I don't know. That's just kind of, I don't know. It's just interesting to me that seeing how my one Lightning truck that I bought last June, in August, I got paid $20,000 over what I paid for it. But yet today, that same truck, borderline, is worth $20,000 less. $20,000 less. So wow, what a huge swing. And what's driving that? Is it that the dealers are starting to see that people just aren't as excited about these electric vehicles as they thought they were? And by the government trying to help, it's not really helping per se. And that's what I think is the government really helping the situation? Because for the automotive industry, if you're a Tesla owner right now, did Elon Musk just help you by him caving in so many ways to the Inflation Reduction Act, where he's now had to kind of like barter, that he opens up his charging stations to anybody? I mean, is a Tesla owner, are you kind of disappointed now in Elon Musk that he sold out for the money? Is that really helping you now, that you're going to go somewhere and now you're going to wait around because there's a bunch of other off-brand manufacturers using the charging stations? Yeah, wow, right? I mean, it's just incredible how, once again, it seems like we hear the word help over and over again in so many aspects of our life. I think to myself, are we helping Ukraine? We have a sitting president that supposedly supports helping Ukraine. But is it helping Ukraine? Is it helping us? And then I think to myself, but in so many ways, um, is it helping us defend ourselves? I mean, it seemed to me more than ever that this sitting president that we have, Joe Biden. It seems that this. It seems like right now we are borderline in war. We're already at war with Russia. We're borderline at war with China. I mean, are you hearing China's rhetoric? Is China just kind of like look at us that we're helpless? I mean, so many aspects. Do you hear China asking for help per se? I mean, does China's nation look for help? Didn't China just kind of like shut down their whole communications and media information over there when we had COVID? And were they looking for help outside of their country during the pandemic time versus other parts of the world and countries were seeking help? For us in this country, the government had to hand out help like never seen before. I mean, sincerely, think about just in the last 3 years. You go from March of 2020, just 3 years ago, when this virus was really kind of confirmed, even though select party individuals laughed at the sitting president, Donald Trump, at the time, that he was a moron, an idiot, and believed that this virus was, just another one of his racist, white supremacist power moves to ban international travel. Does anybody remember that? And Nancy Pelosi dancing in the streets in Chinatown, and all the, this Chuck Schumer and the Maxine Waters, all these Democratic Party people telling people that Donald Trump's the dumbest guy in the world, and this is just another one of his little games he plays to shut down. He's just a racist individual and doesn't want other foreign nationals and other foreigners come to our country. Does anyone remember these conversations? Wow. Those people need help. Maxine Waters, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, a lot of these politicians, they need help. Yeah, so think about that. All the help that was handed out by the government, the payroll protection loans, which smoke and mirrors so many businesses. There's so many people out there right now there's so many business owners that got that money that never spent it, and it's in their slush fund. You have no idea. So many business owners received that money that never deserved that money. I'm sorry. I resisted taking it. I did not take it. I finally broke down in 2022, and no, it's 2021. In 2021, I did the second round. It's piddly because the way my company's structured and everything. It was very, very, very small amount of money. It wasn't much, but I did it because I wanted to learn what was going on. I learned a lot. By going through that process to get that minuscule chump change money, because it's based on payroll, based on 24 weeks of your payroll. It's all calculations of your gross payroll based on 24 weeks of hardships. You got to show year-to-year business incomes to show that your business had like a 20 or 30% decrease loss in revenue for just like X 2 months or whatever. Smoke and mirrors. I mean, just be unbelievable how so many businesses got that money that never deserved that money. And yeah, and some did need the money, no doubt. I don't deny that. But there's so many automotive conglomerates that I know of that got that money. as these car dealerships are making money hand over fist like never seen, and these companies are getting handed out millions and millions of dollars of payroll protection. Yeah. So people are being helped to stay home. You got automatic state income assistance. You got federal income assistance. You have no idea how many small business owners I know that lost people, that just walked off the job and went and sat at home and made more money by sitting at home than working. And the small business owners like me, they then had to live their business. They had to run their business by themselves, or just a select few. Yeah, I went through this in 2020. I mean, 3 years ago to the date, that same person, left, and my daughter and I ran the company for most of 2020. And, but that was rampant everywhere because of the government helping others in the so-called virus that's going to kill everybody. And now you just see the revelations of what was going on behind how they worded things, and it's just, but people want to hear us stuff. I mean, here's the thing: on my YouTube channel, I get it. It's just they don't want to hear us stuff. It's like, I don't want to hear this crap. I don't want to hear it. I get it, but it's all about the help. And I think to myself, yeah, if you look at the Viking man, so Tucker Carlson, who I don't watch Tucker Carlson. I watch Fox Business News, and that's it. I don't sit around nighttime listening to these people rant and rave all night long about all their views and everything else. I don't do it. I sit out at my shop and I'm waxing my cars, doing projects. I'm always on projects. I don't like to sit down and sit around. That's not who I am. I hate that. I'm always moving. So, anyways, the Viking man, from what Tucker Carlson dug up of the unseen videos, is kind of interesting. When you have court cases, don't you want as much information as possible to come to closure, what makes sense of what happened? So, when I'm out here taking sides on anybody who walked in the Capitol was an idiot because you're an idiot, because you got caught up in the moment. So, yeah, whatever. But at the same time, you see on how this guy, the Viking man, this guy was in so many ways, from the video you watch, he was escorted through the Capitol. Yeah, the police, it seemed like it was a really cool environment, cool thing. And then it shows a guy on Twitter running up to Capitol Police and yelling and screaming at him that you're a disgrace because you're not protecting your Capitol. And you need to call backup. Yeah, there's a guy that looks like me, younger guy, that's yelling at the Capitol Police as they just stand there at the Capitol. They're doing nothing. They're just watching everybody enter the Capitol. And he's screaming at these people that your job is to defend the Capitol, and you need to call backup. And all these guys just standing around looking at each other like, get the fuck out of here, excuse the language. So but I'm sure that's what they said under their breath. But who knows? I mean, for me here, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Even though I say it all the time, where's Donald? And I hear it. Oh, if Donald gets involved, then he's the guy that started all this. It's like, whatever, I'm not. Anyway, so the help. So I think to myself at the same time, the help. It seems like more than ever, people are looking. If you look at the fentanyl, why are people taking fentanyl? Why is the drug addictions and the drug deaths through the roof? It's obvious that they're looking for help. They're trying to help themselves escape their unhappiness. I mean, is that what that's all about? I mean, it's definitely it's health issues, mental issues, but you're just reading so many stories of these young people, and you see these, like that one lady who just lost her 2 sons, that apparently Joe Biden made a smart remark and whatever about the fentanyl not being on his time plate. It was on Donald Trump's time plate. Once again, yeah, if anyone needs help, I think we all need to look at the guy that's sitting in office. Yeah, I think that guy needs some help. Yeah, well, he is getting help, but not for the right reason. But anyways, so you just look at the drug addictions in this country, and what is a person look to the drugs that helps them get through the day? Yeah, I mean, it's very obvious. I mean, that's what drug addiction is. It's people that resort to drugs to help them get through their unhappiness in life. And I just think, but yet more than ever, there's so many states and things wanting to legalize drugs in some aspects. And you just think to yourself, just like, wow, you're dealing with people that are allowed to do their drugs and everything. They're not coherent. They're not stable. And I've told my daughter that for years. Is what you don't understand is people do drugs at nighttime or whatever they're doing them. They're not, the next day, that stuff just isn't like out of their body. They're still in that unstable mode of mindset. And I think more than ever, our society, we're just witnessing this more than ever of just the violence that we see on a consistent basis. Are these people doped up? Are they hungover from the night before from doing all their fentanyl and everything else? I mean, sincerely, there's just so many aspects of how we operate as physical human beings and how our brain operates. Then you alter it with drugs and how you think clearly or don't think clearly. But that just seems to be a rampant problem. The crime I mean, look at these inner cities. These the DC's isn't shut down, but the DC's trying to pass a bill to help the criminals that they don't get persecuted by raising the limits of what is a criminal action, what isn't. But I mean, this is classic. These senators and congressmen in D.C. are thinking, "Wait a second, we're now going to start coming to the Capitol, and they're going to make this a lawless city in so many aspects." So they're shutting that stuff down. Yeah, why? Because it's their own backyard. They're going to see what's going to play out. You're going to have some guy go beat the crap out of one of these people, and they're going to, it's just they understand that they're getting ready to be part of the lawless city by helping the criminals. And so are we helping the police? I mean, do the police need help? Yeah, I think the police do need help. I mean, the police are dealing with unstable individuals. I mean, it seems like over and over again when you hear about these deaths on the police's watch, and I'm not here justifying any of this, I'm just sharing, it was the person just doped up. Yeah, I mean, oh my God, George Floyd. I mean, holy crap. Wow, amazing. I mean, and I'm not here to justify the guy sitting on his neck. That guy's just as stupid as George Floyd is. But at the same time, the whole point is, wow. So people are addicted to drugs because it helps them get through the day. And we're in a society more than ever today where it seems to want to help people continue to do that. I mean, you've seen where New York or whatever, somewhere, the governing bodies have set up hotels where people can go do drugs. Do you know about that? I mean, do you know about that in New York City? People can set up, there's places for you as a drug addict where you can go and they can monitor you doing your drug habits because you need serious help. Wow. And then do the black people need help? Gavin Newsom, he's totally on the page that the black community needs help. And the way they need help is to give them money. But it's not a fair share. I'll tell you, if I'm a black guy right now on my YouTube channel, if I'm a black guy, I'd be like, look, so let me get this right. In California, those who prove that they're black and descendants of slavery get money. But those that are black that had the same hardships and can't prove that they're descendants of slavery, but in so many aspects, we're all part of slavery because you came from Africa. I mean, you came from any part of the world. You're part of the slavery challenges of the world, right? And the racism. So how the heck is it fair for Gavin Newsom in the state of California to select the select few that get the money, but the others don't? No way. And if anybody's on my channel that lives in California that's a black person, you need to go down, you need to start talking to the legislature and say, look, this is for all the black people. This isn't just for a select few. How's that going to work? You're telling me that because you told me a guy that's walking down the street that was discriminated against, he went up and asked and said, hey, was your great-great-grandfather a slave to this country? Yes. All right, you son of a blah, blah. The next black guy walks up. Hey, buddy, was your grandfather part of all slavery? Hey, man, how you doing? Great to see you. See you later. Yeah, I mean, oh, my God. This is going to help? I've said it a zillion times. Reparations is going to be the separations. I mean, it's going to be a separation between the white and the blacks, but it'll even be more so to the degree of the black community that has personal friends that sees they get the payout and they don't. And yesterday, one of the black people at one of these town hall meetings was saying that they need the money because it'll take away the crime. All right. Did anybody ever hear a story that money solves all the problems? Yeah. Anybody here know those stories? Money solves the problems, all right? Yeah, money helps you solve all your problems. Yet we witness all the big-time entertainers, all the people with money. What was it, Murdoch, terminates his wife and his kid. You look at Prince, you look at Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. You just look at the list of people who have all the money that are dead. Or those that had all the money killed others. I mean, help. We all need help. Yeah, we all do need help. But for the electric car revolution, yeah, these big CEOs of these companies need a lot of help to understand this green agenda stuff is not helping them. It's not helping them. Is this going to be, in the end, this electric revolution that we're now witnessing happen more than ever in our lifetime, and the transformation of transportation
Is this going to help us in the end? I mean, sincerely, get this. So, and I've talked about this. The real goal at the end of the day is for the green agenda is you walk to places. You walk. You stay home. Quit using a vehicle to help you get somewhere. Isn't that why you buy a car? You buy a car to help you get somewhere. Isn't that the whole idea with transportation? Instead of you physically walking somewhere or bicycling? I mean, yeah, right, yeah, those days are long gone. Or get a horse and go somewhere. But here's the thing. The new guidelines of a lot of these big inner suburban areas of revamping their infrastructure, they're eliminating parking spots. Right now, the running joke in the industry is that you have 7 parking spots for one car. So the goal is to utilize land better, and as the future is going to be a lot less parking spots. So then you may be like, yeah, am I driving somewhere? I'm going to drive down to, hang out wherever, where I'm going to go because I can't find a parking spot. So I'll just stay home and order from Amazon. Look at Amazon. Wow. There are locals here now that are really unhappy, and Amazon is pulling the plug on their so-called grand scheme plan that they presented in the state of Virginia to get the tax incentives to come here and to set up shop, where Amazon right now is putting everything on hold. And there's a lot of legislatures or a lot of high-profile people that see that they're going to lose out on building out commercial properties and the monies to be made and all this other stuff, where Amazon's raising their hand going, hey, we just laid off 18,000 people. We think we're going to lay off more people. We see how the work from remotely home works a lot better than in office. We don't want all these office buildings. We don't need all these people. Oh, hey, speaking about help, well, what's AI? What's the generative pre-trained transformer? Isn't that what everybody's now looking for, is help through that? People are looking for help through artificial intelligence. Wow. We all need help. Yeah, do I need help? Yeah, I need help. Yeah, anyways, hey, everybody. Thanks for watching my channel. And what's my next adventure that I need help with, right? Anyways, hey, appreciate everybody's support, nice comments, and watching my channel. And hit subscribe and ask others to subscribe if they want to get some information and, I don't know, entertainment. I don't know. So that'd be great if you did that. Pass my name along to others so they can enjoy my morning conversations. I do this every day because I'm trying to keep it consistent where people know I'll be here each morning to share my ideas and views and thoughts, and hopefully that makes you have a better day or a madder day or more of a helpful day or whatever day. Hey, everybody, thanks again, and stay tuned, stay safe, and God bless.